I see the sunlight in your smile, a quiet warmth that stays a while. You don't know the ways you shine in this little world of mine. I'm not reaching for the stars, not wishing for what we're not, just building what we have right here. Every moment crystal clear. It's a friendship, we're growing slow. A quiet light, a steady glow. I see the strength you've yet to find, a gentle power of a kind. Though you'll never see the way, your kindness brightens up my day. So I'll cherish every word you say, every step along the way. There's no rush, there's no race, just the beauty of the space. I'm not reaching for the stars, not wishing for what we're not, just walking with you side by side, in the present where we confide. It's a friendship, we're growing slow. Quiet light, a steady glow.
James was a man of vast inner landscapes, a dreamer who had come to this sun-scorched land searching for something he couldn't quite name. Like many settlers, he had arrived with little more than a handful of belongings, a map that was more hope than precision, and ideas of a life yet to be made. But it wasn't the sprawling plains or the towering gum trees that filled his mind lately, it was Mara. Mara was a young woman of the Darug people. They had met by chance at the riverbank where James had paused to fill his water canister and she'd been gathering reeds. The meeting had been brief, punctuated by quiet nods and awkward glances, but something unspoken had passed, as if they were both seeing through the surface of the other into something deeper. After that day, their paths crossed more often, though not deliberately. Mara would appear near the edge of the forest, watching him with a stillness that seemed carved from the very land. When she spoke, it was with a clarity that unsettled and reassured him in equal measure. In Mara, James saw a quiet reflection of himself. She too seemed to carry a world inside her, a realm of thought and possibility hidden behind her composed exterior. When she spoke of the land and the stories that wove through it, James could hear a yearning in her voice. It wasn't yearning for something far away, as he often felt, but for something she was striving to hold on to, a future that remained rooted in the past. Her gaze, steady and searching, often lingered on him as if she were trying to see beyond the trappings of his life as a settler. He wondered what she saw. James was not in love with Mara, though at times, in moments of stillness, he thought about what it might mean to be what he felt was something more intricate, more profound a recognition. In her calmness, he saw his own need for clarity. In her strength, he saw a reflection of the resilience he had tried to build within himself. And in her silences, he saw the weight of understanding, the same weight he carried in his quieter moments. But it wasn't just James who saw himself in Mara. At times, as they spoke, she would look at him with a faint, knowing smile, as if she too recognized something of herself in him. She once told him after he had clumsily described the way the land seemed alive to him, "You think too much like me." He laughed, but the comment stayed with him, a quiet thread tying them together. Mara, too, was a dreamer in her own way, not of other places or distant futures, but of what could still grow within the land she loved and fought to protect. One afternoon, as they sat by the riverbank, Mara pointed to the water's surface. "What do you see?" she asked. James frowned. "The reflection of the trees." "And yourself?" she pressed. He hesitated before replying, Sometimes not." Mara's gaze didn't waver. "The water shows what's there, but sometimes what's there is not what you expect to see." Her words lingered in his mind long after she had walked away, her silhouette disappearing into the dense bush. He thought about how, in her presence, he saw parts of himself he didn't always recognize: his yearning for meaning, his capacity for patience, his willingness to listen. And in himself, he had glimpsed something of her, the quiet strength, the ability to carry hope even in the face of an uncertain future. James's imaginings of Mara weren't confined to who she was now, though he had grown to cherish her moments of candor, her rare laughter, and the unspoken understanding between them. He often pictured a future where the connection between them had deepened not as something romantic, but as something enduring. In his mind, he saw her older, standing as a protector of her people and her stories, her wisdom etched into the lines of her face. And beside her, he saw himself not as an outsider, but as someone who had learned to listen, to understand the land as she did. Mara, he suspected, also imagined futures. He wondered if she saw him in them, if she ever thought of the possibilities their connection might hold, not just for the two of them, but for the bridges it might build between their worlds. What mattered, though, was not what might be, but what was. And in the here and now, James and Mara shared a fragile, unspoken bond of recognition of the threads of humanity that bound them despite their differences. As James sat by the river that evening, watching the water ripple in the fading light, he thought of her words and the reflection she had pointed out. He understood in that moment that what they saw in each other wasn't just difference or similarity, it was possibility. And sometimes that was enough.
A quiet light, a steady glow. I see the strength you've yet to find. A gentle power, one of a kind. And though you'll never see the way, your kindness brightens up my day. So I cherish a word you say every step along the way. There's no rush, there's no race, just the beauty of this space. Just walking with you side, side, side. The present of where we can fight. It's the friendship we're growing slow, slow, a quiet light, a steady